So after Krishna, in the previous couple of verses where we have read, understood that Krishna was telling Arjuna to kill Ashwatthama, Krishna was reminding him of his promise to Draupadi. He gave various reasons. So now, in this verse, Suta Goswami is stating that why Krishna was forcing Arjuna to kill Ashwatthama. So what was the actual intention? So here in the verse and also in the purport Prabhupada mentions, Lord Sri Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly just to test Arjuna's sense of duty. It was not Krishna, he didn't wanted Ashwatthama to be killed. If that is the case, then Arjuna would have not spared him, if that was the order or the desire of the Lord. Here, another principle of surrender is being tested. So here, the Lord is telling Arjuna, forcing Arjuna, in spite of that Arjuna did not kill. So through this, Krishna wanted to glorify Arjuna because of his magnanimity or because of his sense of duty. So that's also one of the quality. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of his associate was, who is that physician associate? Murari Gupta. So Murari Gupta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells that, he should chant Hare Krishna mantra every day without fail. So when it is coming from the lotus mouth of the Lord, it's a life and soul for the devotees. Like yesterday in the class we discussed, the spiritual master's order is the life and soul of a disciple. So Murari Gupta went back, he tried chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So whenever he is trying to chant, he would only utter Rama, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Rama. More of Rama's words, Brahma's holy names. Then next day morning he comes and meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was very sad, his face was swollen. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquires about the reason. So Murari Gupta reveals that actually whole night he could not sleep. For the reason because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to chant Hare Krishna mantra, but whereas Murari Gupta, being an ardent devotee of Lord Rama, he was chanting only Lord Rama's name. But anyway, he is chanting holy name only, right? Why you should feel sad? No, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order. In spite of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, why I am not able to chant Hare Krishna mantra? Why my mind is not allowing to chant Hare Krishna mantra? Then finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals that it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's test for Murari Gupta to glorify him as an ardent devotee of Lord Rama. So he could not change his loyalty from Lord Rama to Lord Krishna, even though there is no difference. But at least in the sense of mellows of bhakti, so this matters. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you are a real devotee of Lord Rama. Basically, Murari Gupta was an incarnation of Lord Hanuman, was taking part in the Lord Chaitanya's Leela. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, from now we can chant Lord Rama's holy name only. So a devotee, generally the principle is that whatever comes out of the Lord or from the spiritual master, it should be his life and soul. But in a rare cases, and in the case of a pure devotees, Lord intentionally puts them in some condition like that, by which the Lord wants to give them, shows causeless mercy, more mercy upon those devotees. That's why devotees, whenever they are put into such condition, they don't mind. They don't actually take it as a miserable condition. They know that, yes, Lord wants me, He's really actually testing me something, really wants to take best out of me. That's why Lord is testing. Like in the Prabhupada here, the purport Prabhupada has mentioned, Gopis, Prahlad Maharaj. For us, ordinary living entities, neophyte souls, some misery, some kind of a disturbance, it will completely unsettle our consciousness. A small, cough and cold, or maybe a fighting with some other Vaishnava, that makes us so upset that our consciousness, our chanting, our sadhana, our devotional service becomes out of track. But whereas how we are supposed to take all those reversals or setbacks in Krishna consciousness, they are actually tests. The more you are under severe test, that shows that something better out of is expected. Like in the military, in the army, yes, any soldier one who joins army is also given a training. But if he has to become a commando, if he has to take part in NSG group, NSG training, very, very, very rigorous, very tedious training is given, and different tests are given to those personalities. They are given a training wherein they can get immersed in the water for about couple of minutes or up to hours. So they are trying to breathe slowly even in the midst of water. In any kind of such unfavorable conditions, they are trying to face those unfavorable conditions. Then only they can become commandos. Why it is required? Because commando operations requires a very sensitive, highly professional operations, where in those conditions sometimes they may have to hide themselves under the water. They have to lie down on the floor. Even when snake is coming or any insect is coming to bite, even if it is biting, they cannot react. Then only you can become a commando. So this, whenever a difficulty comes in a devotee's life, actually that's how we should be taking. Brahmaji states, Tattenu kampa susamikshamana bunjana evatma divam kutam vipakam. So means he takes everything as a mercy of the Lord. And not only just taking, it is actually so. Here Arjuna is not willing to kill. Krishna is forcing him to kill. Arjuna was not willing to fight. Krishna is forcing him to fight. So these all, like Prabhupada here mentions, it doesn't mean that Arjuna was something who was not in a proper, who was not aware of the sense of duty, nor that Krishna was not aware of the Arjuna's sense of duty. Both were aware, but here Krishna just wanted to bring best out of Arjuna, so that people can glorify Arjuna more as a very compassionate person. Even though being a brave soldier, he killed so many people on the Kurukshetra war field. Then what to speak of just one Ashwatthama? He killed, he was part of, Dronacharya's killing team, or he killed, Bhishma. He shot arrows towards Bhishma. What is there in killing Ashwatthama? What is the big deal in killing Ashwatthama? He could have killed. But here, Arjuna's another quality as a compassion. One of the devotee's quality is that, compassion, natural compassion. So that quality is being glorified. So whenever pure devotees are put into such tests, their surrender, their dependence on the Lord will always increase. Like Prahlad Maharaj. If that kind of a situation occurs to any ordinary man, he will start hating the Lord to the core of his heart. I have been put into such a miserable condition. मैंने क्या गलती किया? मैंने क्या पाप किया था? Throughout the life I did not do any mistakes. Why is it like this? Like that that sage, when he was taken to one sage who had done a mistake of he had killed an ant by piercing a needle through the rectum of that ant. So he was taken to Yamaraj. So then he started blaming Yamaraj, even cursed Yamaraj, saying that you are not qualified to be in the position of Yamaraj, because you are not able to distinguish between a innocent act of a child. But even though it is innocently done, one has to be liable for punishment. So, but he was not able to see that another angle of Dharma Shastras. So he went to punishment, but he cursed Dharmaraj, so he became Vidura, as in the Shudra family. So ordinary people, they are not able to take reversals, challenges. But Prahlad is simply undergoing whatever comes. Kunti Maharani. Recently I met one devotee's family. So they said, Prabhuji, actually we were in such an ignorance that, some of my relatives, they said, we should not keep Bhagavad Gita at home. If you keep Bhagavad Gita at home, what happens? Fighting will happen. Because Bhagavad Gita to pura fight hi to hai. Ladai ho jate hai घर पे. और स्पेशली भागवत को भी ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए। क्यों? क्योंकि कुंती महारानी को तो इतना परेशानी दे दिया भगवान ने, इतना जितना भक्त बनते गए उतना ज्यादा परेशानी। Especially she was referring to Kunti Maharani's pastimes. Now they have become devotees. So now she is recalling, actually Bhagwan ne parishani nahi diya. Kunti Maharani was asking, Vipada tantu shashashvat tatra tatra jagat guru. Give me more vipadas, give me more miseries. So that in those miserable conditions, we can always remember you. Because in the happy conditions, it's natural we forget. जब संकट आते हैं तब भगवान का ध्यान करना शुरू करते हैं हम। That's how we become more humble. That's how we become more, we go to the, we become praying mode. If everything is going well, sometimes we become complacent. So that's why Krishna puts even pure devotees is also in those kind of tests, so that they become more and more stronger. So another pastime from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Chaitanya Leela. So there was a devotee called Subuddhi Rai. So he was a great landlord, Jamindar, and a learned person, and also, he was also a devotee. So he had a disciple whose name was later he becomes a Nawab in the of Nawab Hussain Shah. So his name was Sayyid Hussain Khan. Sayyid Hussain Khan. So he was a disciple of him. So since he is a landlord, he has a lot of money, so he engaged him in digging one lake. So in the course of that duty, he did some mistake. So Subuddhi Rai whips him. He beats him with a stick. So that mark was there on his back. So later, somehow for whatever the reason, this Sayyid Hussain Khan was made as a Nawab of Bengal. So he became Nawab. So when he became Nawab, he had a great respect for Subuddhi Rai because he was his guru, instructor. So he gave a lot of wealth to Subuddhi Rai. Subuddhi Rai became even more wealthier. So one fine day, his wife, generally husband-wife when they are there, so she saw that there is a whip mark on his back. Certain scares from the childhood when we fall or some accident or some injury. So even now it will be visible. So she saw that and she asked. Then he explained, so one day I said, did some mistake. Subuddhi Rai had beaten me. So no, because now he's a Nawab, his wife could not take that. So Nawab's wife, she can dictate anything. She said, no, you should take revenge. Go and kill Subuddhi Rai. So Hussain Shah said, no. He was a very nice gentleman. He took care of me like my father, more than my father. He has given me good instruction. He has taken care. He has brought me up. How can I kill him? She was continuously pursuing him. So she said, okay, if not killing, you convert him to Muslim. Because at that time, becoming a Muslim was like, it's better than, it's better to die than to become a Muslim. So, and how one can be converted to Muslim? One jar, whatever the jar a Muslim person uses, take some water from that, sprinkle on that person, he will become Muslim. So this was the degraded caste system which was there. So then finally Hussain Shah, because of the pressure of the wife, he does that. So now Subuddhi Rai, he thinks that now I have become Muslim. The society rejects him. Social respect is gone away. But he takes it as an advantage to give up his family life. He left all his wealth, family member, he gives up. But in spite of that social untouchability, people would not come near to him. He cannot go and speak to anyone. So just he wanted to atone for that. So he goes to some Brahmanas. He asked one Brahmana what I should do so that I can purify myself and I can come back to my original position. Now I am considered as a Muslim. I don't want to be in this position. So one person said, you should drink hot mercury. Person anyway will die. So then what is the meaning of drinking mercury and die? Another Brahmana said, you should drink hot ghee. That also will completely spoil his health. Either he may even die also. So then he thought, these are all not practical only. Instead, they could have directly told me, go and die. So then he happens to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells, don't worry, all these are like in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the atonement processes what are mentioned as Manye Kunjara Sauchavat. all these atonement processes are actually temporary. Kunjara Sauchavat, just like an elephant goes inside a lake, takes bath. So after coming out, what it does? It sprinkles dust on its body or head. So then what is the use of such an atonement? So instead, you take to the permanent cleansing process, which is to take up of chanting the holy names of the Lord. You go to Vrindavan and then start chanting. So you will be purified of all the sinful activities, not only of this life, of all the previous lives. So here, Hussain Shah's wife wanted to somehow degrade Subudhi Rai, because still even he has beaten her husband, and still he is a landlord, he is a very respectable. So she wanted to bring him down, but whereas Subudhi Rai took it in another way, he rejected everything, he left everything, he renounced everything, surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became a great devotee. So this is how a devotee, any adversible condition, they take it as an advantage. They take setbacks as a stepping stone. They don't get dejected by these kind of tests. So in every test the Lord does for a pure devotee, they come out successful and they come out even more stronger. So that's what, when a spiritual master is putting a disciple into a test, that means that spiritual masters want something better out of the disciple. He wants to glorify him, he wants to purify him, he wants to make him more stronger. So in the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, where Arjuna, when Krishna instructed him, so then finally Arjuna has to surrender to Krishna. There was no other option than him. So then he mentions, Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava, uchchamitam dharma sammoha cheto, yashyasan nishchito bruitan me, hishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So Karpanya dosha, I am overcome by these kind of Karpanya doshas. Karpanya dosha means miserly weakness. That's a quality of a Kripana. Kripana means a miserly person. Actually, who is really, generally miserly means what? Kanjus, जो पैसा जो खर्चा नहीं करते हैं. Actually, miserly means, Kripana means actually one who does not know the progressive values of life, or one who doesn't know how to utilize this body properly. Like miserly man, he has money, but he don't want to use, or he don't know how to use properly. So then Krishna finally, Arjuna, he surrendered. I am a soul surrender unto you. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I am a soul surrender unto you. Now please instruct me. That's when actually Bhagavad Gita instruction started. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purposes of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. So when Arjuna finally surrendered, and the later part, even Arjuna accepts him that till now I was treating you as a friend, but now I am surrendered unto you. I have become a disciple of yours. So now instruct me. So because friendly talks has certain limitations, one cannot chastise, one cannot give serious instructions. Finally, when Arjuna surrendered, then Krishna started instructing. Then after that, Krishna made Arjuna go through many different tests like that, and Krishna became victorious. So in the conversation between Ramananda Raya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Ramananda Raya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, tell me something about devotional service. That was the conversation which happened on the banks of river Godavari. Ramananda Raya started telling one should practice regulative principles, one should practice varnashrama, one should become all those atonement process, all these things Ramanandara started talking. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, tell me something more. Tell me something more. Tell me something more. Then finally when he came to the process of surrender, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, this is the ultimate process. One has to surrender to the Radha and Krishna, holy names of Radha and Krishna, and have to surrender and then do service. Sthane sita siddhigata tanuvan manovi. So just one need not have to artificially renounce anything. One need not have to become I have to become a sannyasi, I have to become, no. One has to become a brahmana, one has to become a sannyasi. All these things are external designations. Internally one has to give up the tendency of sense gratification and then completely surrender unto Krishna. So that is the final stage. That is the final step in the spiritual realization. So in this chapter, in this way, Krishna is testing Arjuna. So now Arjuna comes out victorious, comes out successful by actually sticking on to the concept of duty. By what Prabhupada here mentioned as a Arjuna's sense of duty. See, everyone has to be aware of sense of duty. So there is something called as concept of duty. What is that concept of duty? What we are supposed to do? Duty means our certain responsibilities we have. We have to act according to that responsibility. So that is known as duties. So as a devotees, what is our duty? Everyone, if someone is a family man, he has certain duties as a family man. If someone is a renounced order, he has certain duties, certain principles. So everyone has to act according to that. Like it is said that sannyas has 4 different stages. Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivrajaka, then Paramahamsa. So each stage has different duties. And there are certain regulations mentioned in the Shastras according to that. So when a Paramahamsa, when a devotee reaches to that Paramahamsa stage, a sannyasi reaches that stage. So but for the preaching purpose, he brings down himself to the Parivrajaka stage. Like in the morning Premadhvani we chant, Jayavam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka. So already one who has reached Paramahamsa, then why he has to become Parivrajaka? Because for the preaching sake, from a Uttamadhikari level, a devotee comes down to Madhyamadhikari level and then he preaches. Why? Because a Uttamadhikari level is preaching, his level, his statements. Devotees in Ganishthadhikari and Madhyamadhikari, they cannot understand. And what happens in the Uttamadhikari level? They are not interested in talking to any non-devotees. They respect everyone. They see good thing in even amongst the most fallen person. But still they are not interested because one who is always in the Krishna consciousness, one who is already talking to Krishna, one who has direct connection to Krishna, what interest he has in these fallen souls, preaching to fallen souls. But he brings down his consciousness from that level to the Parivrajaka, to the Madhyamadhikari level, so that he can preach, so that his words becomes appealing to the general mass of people. So that's a special kripa on us. That's a special mercy a pure devotee is showing on us. So as devotees, we all have sense of duty. What is that? We have to execute our duty, not attach to results. All miseries actually come because of expectation of result. When we are expecting something, suppose we are doing some service, we are thinking that this is how it should come out. Even devotional service, the outcome is not in our hands. Even in devotional service, forget about material activities. We may be thinking, okay, I'll be chanting, I'll step by step, I'll progress like this. Everything is going nicely, one fine day, tap. Some reversal, one slap, some Maya's attack. Because nothing is in our control. I had association for the folk boys. One boy came and asked, Prabhu, you mentioned in the story that, that old lady when you had gone to forest to get some woods, right? So the Lord comes in front of her, she will ask, Mujhe lakdi wapas mera sir pe rakh do. She could have asked anything. So then he asked a question, Prabhu, how could Lord came in front of that lady to help her, even though she didn't know what to ask, but why Lord is not coming in front of us? Why Lord not coming? We are doing some devotional service, at least she was ignorant, doesn't know, but we know something, but why Lord not coming? The Lord is actually reciprocating, He is ready to come. Sometimes even if He comes, we don't have that eyes to see. We don't have the eyes to see. The Lord has come in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form of holy name, in the form of deities, in the form of preaching movement. The Lord is personally there, but we don't know, we are not able to see. So even in spiritual life, we cannot be very sure of, I am doing this, I am executing certain duties, this will be the outcome. No. The real concept of duty, the real sense of duty is that I am, as a nimitta, as an instrument, I am trying my best. Result, that is dependent on Krishna, whether Krishna wants to give me result or not. But my endeavor, my seva, I will try to do as best as possible, as perfect as possible. That is the endeavor from my side. So this is what real consciousness of a devotee while executing any duties. He has to be always conscious that Krishna is in control. I am not in control. So when we become more and more convinced of this fact, then we will not become disappointed, we will not become discouraged, we will not become demotivated. Ultimately, when everything is in Krishna's hand, we cannot say, okay, if everything is in Krishna's hand, why should I endeavor? Let me just sleep. Let Krishna will give whenever it comes. No. Krishna wants best out of you. When you go through that rigorous training, then only you can become a commando. Then only you can become a successful devotee. So if you really want to become a commando of Lord Chaitanya's army, then we have to go through that rigorous training process. Whenever we become little lenient, whenever we take the things for granted, for sure it is that that rigorous process has become slowed down. When we take initiation, it is said that spiritual master takes away all the sinful reactions of the disciple which so far he has committed, from time immemorial, whatever he has committed. Then in spite of that, why we have to suffer, why we undergo some setbacks? Because even after taking initiation, we don't stop, right? Okay, whatever previous quota is taken care, but what about what we are doing now? It's just like a dry wood. One side you have lit a fire for it to burn, and the other side you are pouring water. So what will happen? The burning process will get slowed down. The wood will take more time to burn. So the concept of duty is that we have to execute our duty to the best. Best is there is no end for the best. There is no as a benchmark for the best. One devotee, what he does best, for another devotee it may be very normal. So according to his capacity, he has to try best. What does that mean? Suppose I have a capacity to lift 1 kg. So at least I should try to make it 1 kg, 50 grams more extra, 100 grams extra, if not 2 kgs, at least lift 50 kg, 50 grams extra. Like that you will increase your capacity, not that 1 kg I am capacity, I am bringing it down to 900, 850, 700. So one has to continuously try to increase. Anand Dhambhuti Vardhanam. In Krishna consciousness it is possible. A devotee can go on eternally serving without any end. It's possible. But we have to take baby steps. Every day keep trying, every day keep adding. Somebody who has experience of a gym. So when a person goes to gym, what the trainer does, first he will put some 5 kgs. Then immediately he will not say lift 10 kgs. He will add, slowly they will keep on adding the weight. So one fine day, the person who was lifting 5 kg, he will lift even 50 kgs. But that needs some practice. Constant practice, not just one day. Gym एक दिन गए, फिर 2 महीने तक नहीं गए, फिर one fine day एक दिन दोबारा जिम में गए. that will not add to the proper development of the muscles. One has to constantly and continuously strive for that success. That's the real concept of duty for a disciple. With this, I'll stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.